Pro bono work is part of our DNA here at Carlton Fields Jordan Burt. Certainly that stems back to people like Reese Smith, who was considered by most in the country the father of the pro bono movement. He, I think, left a legacy of our commitment to pro bono work that hopefully will survive for generations to come.
Lawyers should do pro bono work because first, to be a lawyer is really a privilege. And with that privilege comes a responsibility to our communities, to our state, and to our nation, really, to further the law and to do it in a way where everyone has adequate representation.
It's the foundation of the oath that we take as lawyers, that we will provide services to those who need legal services and need access to our justice system and can't afford it.
Over the years, we've handled a number of high-impact cases. Throughout my entire career at the firm, we've had a death penalty case of one or another going on, and at present we're representing a gentleman on death row here in Florida. In addition, we've challenged the mistreatment of prisoners here in Florida. We have a present challenge to the marriage equality, to the ban on gay marriage in Florida. We're challenging the educational system in California and some serious failings in some of the poorest schools in Los Angeles County.
And I was approached about working on a case representing a woman from Sarasota who adopted her daughter with her partner in the state of Washington. And when they moved to Florida and their relationship fell apart, her partner decided to separate from her and to take their child with her. And when our client petitioned the court for her custody rights and her visitation rights to see her child, the court declined to recognize the Washington adoption, which was a valid adoption, on the basis that it would violate Florida law and public policy to recognize that adoption. What was really important to me about that case was really twofold. On a very personal level, I was representing a woman and helping her reestablish her relationship with her child. And so it had a big impact on not only her, but her child, and bringing that family back together. And on the other hand, it was also wonderful to have the opportunity to work on a case that was going to impact not only her and her family, but it was going to impact all LGBT people within the state of Florida. Because from that point forward, there was no question that a valid adoption judgment from another state had to be recognized within this state.
I always remember years ago playing just a peripheral part in representing a widow of a migrant worker up in North Carolina who was burned to death in one of the substandard trailers that he was working at, leaving a widow and two children with literally nothing. I got a call and got involved in the appeal, and we got it reversed. And we got some money after that in a settlement. And it wasn't much money. It's not going to make any headlines, but for this woman and for her two children, I mean, it was just a lifeline. And, it just made me feel better than almost anything in the world.
A number of years ago, I defended a mortgage foreclosure action here in Pinellas County, Florida. It was a home that was owned by a grandmother who was raising a mentally challenged grandchild. Probably one of the most exciting days for me as a lawyer was the day I called her to tell her that we had completely resolved the matter in her favor, and that not only was she going to keep her house, but they were going to refund some of the fees that they had charged her. That was probably one of my most gratifying moments as an attorney.
Pro bono has really helped me both professionally and personally. From a professional perspective, it's really given me the opportunity to hone my skills on developing and emerging areas of the law. And from a personal perspective, it's the gratifying aspect of it. It's sort of that feel-good aspect that you've made a difference for someone, that adds another silver lining every time you come into the office.
Trial lawyers get the opportunity to try cases. Transactional lawyers get the chance to sit across the table, maybe in a board meeting of a not-for-profit organization, and make presentations. So it really doesn't matter what kind of a lawyer you are. Pro bono can provide all kinds of opportunities for learning, for training, for networking that will enhance your legal skills, enhance your career, and most of all, enhance your personal satisfaction in what you're doing as a lawyer.
I really do appreciate the kind of skills that you can develop working on a pro bono case. You get to work on areas that normally don't come into play in your normal day. And you're also able to sort of stand on your own, which may not always happen as a young associate. And you can argue hearings and really be the main person responsible for the outcome of a case.
It allows you to work with people within the firm and outside the firm that you might never work with.
The firm is very supportive of attorneys working on pro bono matters.
The firm provides up to 50 billable hours of credit for all timekeepers to perform pro bono work. In addition, the firm also often advances costs in cases, making it easy to take cases that might require a financial commitment beyond the attorney's time.
You got the backing of a very well-respected firm and access to the expertise in the firm, which is tremendous. And of course, anything that comes up with respect to trial preparation and things like that, we have all that expertise, we have all the departments of the firm that are able to help in that manner, and that's invaluable. It's always great to work on a case and be successful and do right by your client, no matter whether it's pro bono or not. And with each case, you definitely feel like you've improved, you've gained in skills, you feel that you're more experienced. But especially with pro bono work, I would say those things are much more pronounced because the difference that you've made is much more obvious and much more real in a human sense. And I can't stress enough that doing this is not only the right thing to do, but it's something that you feel good about, and that makes a big difference.
I'm grateful to be at a firm that values those kinds of opportunities.